5 seconds to go. Start. Madam, mobile and digital connectivity, especially in the tribal dominated districts and the western and the southern Odisha, is very poor. In this world of digital life, these two are extremely crucial. Better connectivity services in Odisha by the center are highly required. Providing better connectivity services in Odisha by the center is highly required because even today people in far flung areas are forced to climb a tree for better mobile connectivity. Banking services are absent in many panchayats of Odisha. These also need to be provided by the center. Because of the implementation of direct benefit transfer, the people of Odisha will not be benefited unless brick and mortar banks are there in the panchayats of Odisha. I truly hope that the central government will proactively support Odisha's infrastructural development. With these words, I support the motion of thanks on the President's address. Thank you. Madam, I rise to thank the Honorable President for her very thoughtful and comprehensive maiden address at the start of Amrit Kal. Perhaps this was also the last time when such an address would take place in this building. She is an example of the strength of our nation, its diversity, and the immense opportunities it affords to each and every citizen of this country, irrespective of her origin, caste, or creed, or religion, or gender. She is also a powerful symbol of the empowerment of women in India. Without the full participation of 50% of our nation, we will not be a developed nation or even a just and equitable society. However, we had expected that our new president would also present a report card on the promises made over the last 9 years. While the direction we wish to travel is known, a detailed and realistic roadmap is missing. In short, Madam, I conclude respectfully that the address was a little long on adjectives but short on specifics. Perhaps the government hopes that what they do not talk about today will soon be forgotten by the people. Borrowing the famous words, the nation wants to know what happened to the goals set for the end of 2022. And there were several, nearly 40, such goals which were supposed to be achieved by 15th August 2022 when New India was to take shape. The Niti Aayog should have sent her a report card. It can still be done for in the next address. Honorable President talked about the Swarnim Bhavishya Ka Sankalp of transforming India into a developed nation, but without spelling out the essential conditions or even its defining features. What distinguishes a developed nation from a developing or even an emerging nation like ours? Is it only the size of the GDP? If that is the yardstick, what size is the inflection point? We have heard different numbers from different ministers, about 5 trillion economy going up to 40 trillion. Coming to inequalities, do you believe that the current state of inequality and extent of poverty allows us the luxury of such fanciful talk? While no doubt our GDP is growing at a healthy rate, the problems are multifaceted. India's growth has come at a cost of sharply increasing inequality and extreme concentration of wealth in a few hands. The Gini coefficient is at 37.5 and the top 1% of the nation owns over 50% of the national wealth. In a recent report, if I remember correctly, it was stated that 21 individuals own more wealth than 70 crore citizens. According to one estimate, those earning minimum wages in India will take 941 years to earn what a billionaire makes in a year. We continue to produce billionaires at an impressive rate, even if they are only paper billionaires. The GST, while much needed, by definition, is a regressive tax, and according to an Oxfam study, the poorest 50% of the population pay 68% of the total tax, while the rich pay only 3%. Clearly, this is not sustainable growth, but no corrective steps are in evidence. The government itself claims with greater pride that it is running the largest free food sports system in the world. Should we not address these real issues rather than just make feel good statements? While lofty goals and visions should always guide us, but policies need to be well grounded in reality. Beyond GDP numbers and hope, there are several other indicators of a developed nation: per capita income, educational attainment, scientific and technical prowess, rule of law, and inviolable rights of the citizens guaranteed by robust and independent institutions, including an efficient and independent judiciary. Separation of powers is one of the essential features. The Honorable President emphasized the duties of each citizen during the Amrit Kal, but did not dwell on how the state is guaranteeing the basic rights of every citizen. While the government always talks of cooperative federalism, the governors and lieutenant governors who represent our president in the states and UTs are practicing combative federalism and are rendering the local administrations impotent and ineffective. This tendency needs to be checked. Getting used to double engine has a downside too, and the fear is that whenever the second engine is missing, those trains will not be able to move. And the growing inequality between states, between north and south, between the coastal states and the hinterland is worrisome and will remain a serious drag on India's growth story unless non-partisan attention is paid to this pressing issue. The central government cannot be seen as parochial or treating some states as stepchildren. Stop.